years of the war would travel out by his armored train and for sometimes 24 hours straight, drinking coffee and eating pastries, would look through high-powered telescopes and binoculars at Warsaw burning or other cities burning. They like to watch the world burn like Nero. They've got all this power, and when you let corruption take over, the worst elements end up filling the gap, and then even more elements fill that, and it's almost like an Indy 500 of evil. Only the most evil end up in control, and they like black uniforms, death, carnage, war, skulls, murder, death. Whether it's Los Zetas or Skull and Bones, they worship a Grim Reaper with a gold crown on its head. They like Grim Reapers, man.
That's what it looks like to me. It really does. I mean, notice what the SWAT uniforms look like. They're carrying, German-made machine guns. They got German-style helmets, and they got some great-looking black uniforms, and they just personify, part of the psychological warfare that's been waged against us is at least the Greeks. If you study any kind of theater at all, you're going to study the Greek theater. And it's because, number one, the stories never change. However, with the Greeks, at least they had the sense that all sex and violence was done off stage. It was only suggested. And they also had enough sense to put masks on everybody so that you don't go, well, I know that guy is a completely disgusting, horrible, amoral person, but he's so handsome. Then the girls fall in love with him, and then this horrible vixen that's just a, bloodthirsty and a horrible individual. She's beautiful, so we really like her, even though she's morally, bereft. They had enough sense to disguise that so that you just got the story, unlike what we're fed. I mean, we're continually desensitized. I mean, what next on TV? The last episode of 24 with Kiefer was, I think he actually disemboweled somebody while the camera was taping him. And I'm just like, good God, what next? I mean, I was watching something, just channel surfing the other day, and I saw so much violence all over the place that I thought, I don't know which is sicker, them putting it on the screen or me sitting here watching it. So I just turned the bloody thing off and let it go. We're being desensitized to what's to come is the only thing I can figure out. Apparently there are some really smart people that are all talking to each other, and this is a huge orchestrated campaign, the end of which, I guess, is just flames. I mean, I think we're about to get on the same page and decide that if you do believe, let me just qualify this real quick. On some of the blogs that comment about some of the things that have been said on Coast to Coast, where I reach the most audience, obviously. A lot of people go up and get a drink of water during a commercial or something else. But it's like, oh, this Wells guy sounds like a fundamentalist Christian and a right-winger. It's like, well, if my belief in Jesus Christ makes me a fundamentalist Christian, and if my belief that if we let go of this Constitution, we are over with, well, then I guess that makes me a right-winger, because we're losing this Constitution, and once it's gone, what can happen in this country with the advances in technology and all the facilities and everything else that have been built and are ready? It's going to make Nazi Germany look like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's my opinion.
No, you're right. This high-tech overlay over ancient forms of tyranny is so scientific and so evil. And we haven't even done this TV piece yet for the nightly news because there's so many examples. We've been just taping TV and then pausing it. Sharpie commercials now will have stuff like "Don't Protest" flashed on the screen. TV shows like, what is it called, Breaking Bad, episode after episode will have subliminals saying Ron Paul's a drug head. I mean, the fact that they're this bold with it, but expanding. You heard about the VA cemetery, one of the biggest in the country, in Houston, and it's now come out, even in the Dallas Morning News, that first the military denied this was happening, but the head of the place said, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, it didn't matter. You couldn't pray over somebody's casket at their burial, and she turned the director turned the chapel into a broom closet and would tell them, and when people brought this up, they said it's not true, so the local group had to sue, and it turned out that the Department of Defense had beta tested not allowing anybody to pray at the cemetery, saying separation of church and state, when that's a letter from Thomas Jefferson saying we don't need a state-run religion. The First Amendment says government can't make a law making you follow a certain religion. But of course, if you can have people pray at their funeral at the cemetery. I mean, it shows how these atheists, that was the official religion of the Soviet Union, what tyrants they are, sir.
Well, I'm absolutely on the same page with you. All this separation of church and state, it's you don't know what you're talking about. The separation of church and state refers only to the establishment by our government of a national religion. That's all. Like as in King Henry VIII did when he wanted to get rid of what's her name and get rid of Catherine and pick up on Anne. He made his own church. He had the power to do so. He divorced himself from Rome, sort of. And just got he
had to have the heir, exactly, so he created the Church of England. But this is what's crazy, though, is that I see reports all the time where a child brings a Bible to school in their bag, and they take it and throw it in the trash, like you can't have this, but you can wear the devil T-shirt or whatever. Again, it's the idea that certain speech can be banned, and it shows what tyrants these people are.
Well, I think in the end, it's going to boil down to one thing. You know, people will look to the Mayan calendar, they'll look to Nostradamus, all these people are looking for the truth somewhere other than in their Bible. But in the end, it comes down to good and evil. That's what the study of philosophy is about, is the entire school of philosophy is devoted to one thing: what makes a good life? Now, if blood and guts and murder on every street corner is your idea of a good life, then you've got a pretty warped philosophy. But these philosophies do exist, and I think it is natural that we have these opposing forces. But let's say, just for the sake of the argument.
Stay there. Amazing. And I'm going to see if I can twist your arm 5 minutes of the next hour, so we'll have 2 little short segments left. We've definitely got to have John B. Wells back up. We'll give you his other website as well on the other side of this quick break. Of course, ours is prisonplanet.tv and Infowars.com. We're simulcasting this radio show right now at prisonplanet.tv. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, are weaker testosterone levels taking you out of the game? Are you gaining fat, feeling tired, losing desire in the bedroom? Get back in the game. Call now for a risk-free trial of Ageless Male, a natural supplement shown to raise testosterone by 61% and maintain healthy, normal levels. No injections, no appointments. Just take Ageless Male every day and boost your testosterone by 61%. When your levels are healthy, you can feel energy again, a great outlook again, and yes, a healthy sex drive. The results are life-changing. Beware of cheap knockoffs. Ageless Male is an exclusive formula and the only one proven in research to boost testosterone 61%. Try Ageless Male, risk-free. Just call 1-800-497-8345. 1-800-497-8345. 1-800-497-8345.
Alex Jones here with vital information concerning our nation's fragile food supply. Folks, there are some truly dangerous trends forming, and I think it's important for my listeners to do 3 things right away. Number 1, study the past. History really does repeat itself. Number 2, learn to spot the dangerous food shortage trends. Number 3, take decisive action. A perfect storm is brewing for a global food crisis. That's why I'm telling everyone to read the new book, Rising Prices, Empty Shelves. Warning signs that trigger the deadliest famines in history. Don't get caught unprepared when the crisis hits. This book is only available at risingpricesemptyshelves.com. You'll also get a free copy of Supermarket Survival, How to Cut Your Grocery Bills in Half. Again, that website is risingpricesemptyshelves.com. That's risingpricesemptyshelves.com. Our rights as individuals to freely purchase dietary supplements over the counter are under constant attack. The globalists want to ban all supplements formulated after 1994. Governments are hoarding raw materials, affecting our ability to purchase these products at a reasonable price. Even organic foods are stripped of nutrients due to overuse of soil and compromised growing conditions. Storable foods are essential, but you also need to make sure you have the nutrients you need to stay healthy during emergencies. Go to survivalrx.com today and see the amazing line of storable supplements they have to protect the ones you love. The owners of survivalrx.com have been in sports nutrition for over a decade, and they realize the need for long-term storable vitamins. The result is a triple nitrogen flushing method, which allows these vitamins to maintain their strength for decades. Again, go to survivalrx.com. That's survivalrx.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by John B. Wells, and we'll put up on screen for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers one of his other websites, caravantomidnight.com. Very interesting. We'll talk about that, some with him here in just a moment. But we may have forgotten now because this is unscripted, but you were making a point as we went to break. Do you happen to remember what that was, John? I know it was interesting.
Well, it was just that people will go to all these other sources to find out what's happening in their lives. Every day, a person's mind is filled with all kinds of things. All this. In fact, I'm surprised that we're not all insane. You know, that's why we go to pastoral places, you know, fields and beaches and stuff like that, where we get some natural beauty. But here in the cities and so forth, we're hit with television, radio, signs, lights, other signs, traffic. All these people, you know, and all.
Have you noticed everything is turning to like a Times Square, even in small towns, with TVs and Janet Napolitano in the Walmarts, other facilities saying, "Don't trust anyone but me. Don't trust your neighbors. Don't worry, checkpoints are coming."
Oh, it's like a THX 1138, you know, where the guy comes on and goes, "My time is your time. Consume, enjoy." I mean, is that what we have become now as a nation of consumers? Well, that's about to be over with because this is turning into a kind of a mutant form of a depression. You know, my dad was a Depression era kid, and he said, well, the thing is the money was worth something. The problem was nobody had any. Well, now we've got a two-pronged problem, and that is nobody has any, and even if they did, things that used to go in denominations of $100 are now going in denominations of $1,000. So I don't know. The money is being created with the stroke of a pen, which means it's worth nothing. So where do you go from there? One of the brightest guys, I wish I could remember his name at this moment. I'm so ADD at times. But I said, look, what is money? Once upon a time, it used to be an agreement to exchange goods or services. And he says, well, that's true. He said, but more than that, it's a social compact. And that really set the dominoes falling then because, yeah, and who is the compact between at now? When all of these banks go, okay, I mean, I think we're being smokescreened with all the trouble that are in these various nations. I think the trouble that these various nations like Greece and Spain and the other ones, I think all of this is fabricated. I mean, I really do believe. No,
it is. If you get into the documents, it is. And instead of the government issuing a fiat currency, that's dangerous because they can hyperinflate. But if it's connected to something, you know, generally that's a more successful system than letting private central banks control the currency. And so in the compact, for the money to exist, you have to become a debt slave. The money becomes God, and those that issue it become rulers of the universe, basically. And now they implode societies to consolidate them. And now they're moving in to start banning cash, to force us onto cashless systems so they can charge us and track us. I mean, if people think $5 to use their credit card or ATM is something, wait till it's totally cashless. We're going to be held totally hostage where you actually pay massive money just to keep your money in a bank.
Well, not only that, but, I mean, wouldn't it be interesting if all of a sudden now, instead of writing a check or pulling out a credit card, now we have to show ID if we produce cash?
No, that's the plan under the 999. Well, that's the plan, yeah.
I mean, I challenge anybody to come up with a more ridiculous scenario. You know, the man's name was Manning that I interviewed on Coast to Coast. His last name was Manning, and his first name escapes me at this moment. Maybe I'll get it back for the end of our time together here. But I said, are we doing some sort of an economy? We have crop rotation. You farm this part out, so you let it rest a couple of years, move over to another plot and farm that. Are we doing economy rotation now? And he said, yeah, sort of. And this economy is pretty much tapped out, so we're going to, now China's the big dog, and then they're new at this. I give them 10 years before, not even that, 5 years before something bad happens over there.
Well, stay there. 5 more minutes. I totally agree with you. And again, it's not like crop rotation where it produces something. It's designed to build up, get in debt, and then destroy. Because, again, you don't want any country to be strong. You only want the global parasite banks. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now.